I'm Gail Guayardo. Welcome to Bloom, presented by Lifeguard Imaging. We are kicking off our show today with keynote speaker, consultant, and the author of Embrace, Empower, Evolve, a practical guide to embracing change, empowering growth, and evolving into your true self, Kendra Cook. Kendra, it is such a pleasure to have you on Bloom.
Thank you so much for hosting today.
So I know you're going to be at a huge event happening on October 2nd here in Tampa. I go every year. It's the real event at First Pres Tampa. And I can't go this year, but I'm like, I really want to get this woman on Bloom. So I'm so glad that you could make it, because I think your message will resonate with so many people in our audience.
Well, thank you. I do believe this. It's the year of the woman, the month, the year, the millennial, whatever, of the woman. And I think that we don't have enough spaces for women to go and voice their concerns or to realize that they're not alone. And so that's why I wrote the book.
And you actually share your own personal journey of how you had to kind of maybe push your way through some painful moments to get where you are today. So tell me about it.
Yes, I was raised in a broken home, so that just sets the stage at a very young age, and not feeling accepted and trying to find myself. And so really struggling through a broken marriage, and finally finding the one, but not without struggles, right? And then I was working in a male-dominated career field, and when you're successful as a female, a lot of times it's, how'd you get there? And, you know, did you do it ethically and morally? And so there was always those boundaries that you had to break through, and there was always those limits that people would set on you, or labels they would put on you, and really just having to go the distance, and was able to build an incredible business. And a lot of women watching from the sidelines, I got to bring along with me, and then sell the business.
That's awesome. And I think so many women, especially, want to pivot. They want to do something different, but the fear factor, or maybe the voices in their head, the negative ones, are holding them back. Do you think that's fair to say?
100%. Well, and I think just if you read, if you watch TV, anything, a lot of times it's, don't go there, it's scary, you'll be turned away, you know. I just tell people no is a complete sentence, but I didn't have to stop at no. And I always had that little chip on my shoulder that says, be the one that breaks those boundaries and those barriers, and show women that we can do it. So I think you have to listen to your heart and your head together, and not the outside forces that try to drive us.
What made you decide to write the book?
That's a great question. So I left, my husband always jokingly said, people leave athletics at the height of their game. And I just had the biggest year of my career. And I just said, oh, it was a lot of work, a lot of time away from my family. I don't know if I want to do this again. And he said, well, if they go out on top, why don't you go out on top? And I was given an opportunity, prayed about it, really consulted him, and he said, I'm behind you 100%, let's go. So we sold our business after our biggest year ever, and moved across the country to start a whole different career. And did that for 6 years, and then said, you know what, I think I've reached the pinnacle here, let's move to Tampa. So we've only been here 2 years, and I was gonna take a gap year. And during the gap year, I wrote my book.
Oh, that's really, really cool. You know, it's really hard when you have to leave what you know, and that could be any chapter of life. For me, I'll be an empty nester soon. I'm really struggling with that. You know, I've built a career here over the last 33 years of my life. You know, moving to that next chapter is very, very scary. So what's the advice that you give to the women that you coach?
Well, part of the book is, at the end of each chapter, has a journaling section. And I've been journaling for probably 35 years, because I always told ladies, that's a safe place. You can cuss, scream, cry, pray, talk about somebody. The joke at our house is get my journals if I pass first before anybody else, because I won't have any friends at my funeral. But it's a safe space. You can't be judged there. And so for me, as I went through these different chapters and these challenges, it's just to have a place that I could vent, or really encourage myself that, hey, girl, you got this. It's okay to pivot and change, and it's going to be uncomfortable. And you can record those things, and you don't have to show the public or everybody that's watching you all that fear that's creeping up.
I also want to talk about the event that you're doing on October 2nd. It's hosted by Kathy Connor, who alongside her husband lead First Pres.
Yes.
And she is not only a woman that brings people to their faith, but she also has a real gift of bringing women together and watching the tides rise together. So what will you be talking about? And I know it's open to the public. You don't have to be a member of First Pres.
That's correct. I'm super excited to share 3 stories that are in the book elaborate on those a little bit, but really talk about how your past does not have to define your future. And so if you carry some guilt, or if you carry some shame, or there's something that you're not proud of in your past, you can be forgiven for that. We all have been forgiven millions of times. But the key to that is don't sit in that and waller, to know that there's a bigger future for you if you just let go of the past. And the hardest part is it's comfortable staying in, whether it's uncomfortable, but it is comfortable to stay in the past because it's something you know. But when you can let go of that and you can really grow, you can evolve into the next person that you want to be.
What do you say, though, to people that are like, yeah, I made mistakes in my past. I've learned to forgive myself, but what about the others still kind of keeping an eye on it?
Yeah, I just say I'm one of one. I'm unique, and if somebody can throw a stone at me because they don't have any faults, then good for them. That's not me. And so for me, I love to help ladies work through that. I do some retreats and things to help ladies work through that, because really there's no one out there that hasn't sinned or has fallen. And I just tell people failure is not final. It's just a step on the journey. So we fall down, we get up, we keep falling forward. And life's a journey.
All right, well, listen, it was such a pleasure to have you on Bloom, and it's great to have you in Tampa Bay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're going to share Kendra's story and more about the real event happening at First Pres. And up next, I'm catching up with a man gaining global attention for helping people live out their travel dreams when Bloom returns.